Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we use this as a teaser?
Yeah. They should think, oh my God.
The Three Stooges has become four.
This is how Take That got back together. Mark, can you hear me? Can you hear anybody? Gary Barlow says.
It's just you.
All right, okay.
Hang on.
Sony winning broadcaster. I've got a fucking back.
There we go. Got you. That's louder. That's good.
Right. Okay.
Well, one of the massive weekends of the entire season has been and gone, and I don't even know where to start. Obviously, the drama called off on Saturday, the Dublin Racing Festival. We're recording this halfway through the action on Monday. We've still got races to go. We might have a little watch-along a little bit shortly because we may have a brand new bumper favourite once that race is run. Frankie, you're still there. It's gone pretty dark behind you, but you're still there. Just sum up this weekend for us before we get dissecting the action.
Yeah, it's been class, Matt. As you said, a bit of drama with getting it on, getting it off, and a shame about Saturday not going ahead because it's the first time they'd ever sold out the DRF. There was 20,000, I think, which is capacity expected on the Saturday. Unfortunate that didn't happen, but we have had all the racing and they managed to do a great work to get it on Sunday and Monday. And as I'm here today, there's probably a good 10,000 that made it through the gates today. So it has felt like a 3-day festival, particularly if you were over and drinking as well as racing. The pubs were packed in Dublin on Saturday. Everybody was getting stuck into Musselburgh and Sandown on the big screens. And then racing yesterday was top class. There's 18,500 here yesterday. Loads of Brits travelled over. Really, really good racing. And then today, what we'll probably start with, the Irish Gold Cup was, it was an interesting one, wasn't it?
It very was, yeah. We'll start on that shortly. Joel, I know you'd have loved to have been there just for the Saturday, really, to go out drinking.
Yeah, that's right. I saw loads of stuff on social media about all the lads and lasses off to the dogs just to get live sport in. So I think that was brilliant because that's what I do. It's like, right, okay, the festival's off today. Where are we going? Where are we going? And I Dave loves it when I do that. Where are we going there, lads? The last day we're here. So honestly, Dublin's one of my favourite cities in the world. Unbelievable. And I'd have said, like, Dave, come on, we're going the dogs. And that's what they did last night or Friday night.
It is great here because Dublin's a small enough city that when this festival is on, you do just bump into racing people everywhere, whether it's people you know, even your trainers, connections, or people that work in racing, or any pub you get into, you'll inevitably start talking about the DRF. So it's great fun.
And as you can see, Dave is obviously with us because this should have been recorded in the studio, but because Leopardstown kind of conspired against, so one thing you can never beat is the weather. So we're having to record this obviously after we've looked at some of the great action at the Dublin Racing Festival. So Dave is also with us, and I know we're going to talk about some of the racing shortly, but your anti-post portfolio looking a little bit shinier after the last 48 hours.
Do you know what? Every dog has his day, and the weather gods might have just made it. It's like a comeback of comebacks. This, I'll get to that. I mean, it's typical Foster, this, isn't it? You know, it's like the Saturday, it's called off. And we made a call to call this a remote show. So here we are filming it. And who's stuck in Leopardstown infiltrating all our socials over an extra 24 hours? Unbelievable. The stag do's. Imagine that. Imagine, like, we're of a certain vintage now, right? Some of us in particular, maybe not Fozzie, maybe, but we are. I mean, look at him. He looks like the groom, really, doesn't he, in waiting. Us three, right, would be out there with him going, oh, my God, this is going to be 48 hours of hell. All of a sudden, it's turned into 72. Were there some serious casualties, Frankie?
There was plenty of people enjoying themselves, yeah. And let's say the crowd's time on which they made the race course has been pushed back day by day. I think people got out of bed with a sore head on Sunday, and then Monday, yeah, people just getting through before the first. But it was class, you know. You were out in town, but it felt like you weren't on a race course, but you were surrounded by that many people that were into their racing. It was actually brilliant.
And it is a bank holiday on Monday, isn't it? Of course, people are watching this maybe, down the line this week. The Monday was a bank holiday. I mean, how Irish is that? It's just like, well, just in case this happens, let's put on a bank holiday for everyone.
There is that. And you did say how many casualties off the track. I want to start this entire show by asking how many casualties have we had on the track? We've had a few bubbles burst. We've had horses who've obviously enhanced their claims, shorter in the market now for the Cheltenham Festival, which is only 5 weeks away. And don't forget, they've just encountered grueling conditions. So I'll start with you, Frankie, as you were there. Conditions, obviously, always a big talking point when it comes to racing. How can horses going to recover from 5 weeks in bottomless, deep ground? You were just talking to me off air before about the Irish Champion Hurdle yesterday and how far you were from the winning post.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Bright Days Ahead and Lossiemouth 1-2 in the Irish Champion Hurdle, and I was stood probably 50 yards beyond the finishing post, and they'd almost pulled up by the time they hit me. You wouldn't get 2 mile hurdlers, particularly like if you think away that Lossiemouth can finish her races, or the way when Bright Days Ahead won here last year, she absolutely galloped through the line, and they stopped the moment the race was done. It has been really tough out there, and you've had to be tough to win. So that's why it's tricky, isn't it? You know, we're thinking about Cheltenham. It's going to be better ground, and which horses might improve for this weekend versus which horses actually might be tired from this weekend. It's a real possibility.
It certainly is. Right, stuck into it then. Irish Gold Cup, 1, 2, 3 for Willie Mullins, but Joel, not necessarily in the order that we expected.
No, on Friday in the Punters Guide, we said it would be a 1, 2, 3 for Willie Mullins, and you mix them all up. I think you'd have been at a loss if you mixed them all up and got this result. I couldn't have Factfile on my mind. Cruised the whole way through. Galopin Des Champs, the money was down, wasn't it? Like 25s, 20s into what it got, 5, 6 to 1, something like that. I think it did too much early on. Galopin Des Champs run its race. Better Days Ahead. Was it Better Days Ahead that fell? No. I know the way you're thinking. Yeah. Great to see that game. But I have no idea. You know, I'm partying with the rest of them. I backed Galopin Des Champs just because it was the head and the heart. I couldn't have a Factfile on my mind. Willie Mullins afterwards, the interview was really, really interesting. He was a bit spiky in the way that, you know, well, you supplement 25 grand for the Gold Cup. And he was a bit like, it wasn't the Gold Cup. We pulled him out. Okay. All right. Okay. And that's affected my bet this week, my anti-post bet this week. But you know, it was a good race. But I couldn't have I went for Galopin Des Champs. I couldn't have Gaelic Warrior because normally jumps right. A Leopardstown was down. In fact, a foul, not on my mind. But different horse.
And Dave, I'll come to you. I mean, I would agree with Joel. I couldn't have Factfile over an extended 3 mile on that type of ground. Gaelic Warriors had his arms out for half the race and are still giving him a good run in the closing stages. But it was interesting. I did see that interview with Willie Mullins, and he says that he was in, and now he's out, and he loves the Gold Cup. And if they want to change their mind, obviously that's a decision for JP Martin and Frank Berry to have.
Couple of points I want to take Joel up on that. You're right, and Frankie will come in here as well. It didn't seem like the Willie Mullins that we know and love, did it? There were a couple of times I saw some interviews on different media outlets and in print as well. I know so much, colleagues that are over there getting some comments off him, and I think in particular he was short with people that he normally gives everything to. He doesn't normally mind talking about his horses in the following race. He cut them off. He wasn't telling us about Final Demand. We'll get to him, but. And they didn't want to tell you anything about it whatsoever. So he's in proper mood, Willie is, for whatever reason. He's obviously had some horses turned over. And Joel, I want to come back to you. Did you back Galopin Des Champs in that because you thought he would win this 4 on a bounce, come on for the Savills run, and then go short in the anti-post Gold Cup market? And finally, we've got a sort of sensible favourite.
100%, Dave. I genuinely did. I thought he would be the one who'd go and win that today. And we talked about it on Friday, and Jerry Hannon must have been sitting there ready for, 4 Gold Cups and Irish Gold Cups and emulating, and Florida Pro and whatever. And he sounded devastated at the end, because we talked about the midweek Jerry Hannon, who is, and they're over the second, the favourites fallen, whatever. And then when you get to, you're right, Dave, you okay? Hey, get out. The money's not getting there.
One job he had, not to come in here. One job. Yeah, it's not quite BBC levels, lads, is it? But one job.
Yeah.
It's compelling by what you're saying, Joel.
Yeah, exactly what you said, Dave. I completely, I completely tick every box that you said there.
It was flat on track as well. It was very flat on track. There was not many cheers.
I was going to come and ask you about that. One, what was the reaction on track? But two, we have now got a favourite for the Cheltenham Gold Cup here at 5-1. He's not even entered in the race.
Yeah, bizarre.
It's
isn't
a look. It's a bonkers race, lads. I wasn't with you last week to give you my thoughts on Trials Day. I mean, it's just like it's a discuss moment here, isn't it? So look, what are we now with? You've got Django Bay, who's found himself to the head of the market with most firms. You've then got, of course, his old nemesis, the jukebox man, who, for my money, should be ahead of him in it. You've got Gaelic Warrior, who's upheld that form. That's one clue that we have got from today for the Gold Cup. It lets us know that the King George form is pretty strong, right? Are they going to supplement Factfile? I'd say not. We've finally got an odds-on shot for the Cheltenham Festival, of course, in Factfile now for the Ryanair. I'll be amazed if they don't go for that with him. And I think that if you were going to take anything out of it, the King George lot are covered by less than a length. There is one horse that I put up going into Trials Day, who I'd nearly on the day thought, that's it, what a wally I was. And now it's amazing, the anti-post betting. I think he might be this year's I Know the Way You're Thinking, and that's Grey Dawning. Whatever you make of last week, and I saw your reaction, guys, that was not for then. That was the one day. And he went out to 20s. I had a little nibble on that. He's back into around about 12s. He's the one form line that I think coming into it that the King George lot will be worried about. But it is a real hurt your head moment, this, isn't it?
But is it not? Is it not brilliant? Is it not brilliant? Because we've had those years where you've got the Willie Mullins fabs going in, and it's, that'll win that, that'll win this and win that. This is one. Like when I was a kid, you'd look at a Gold Cup, most years, or some of these big races, and it was 5-1 the field, and everybody's going, well, no, that'll win and this will win because of that, and it makes it, as a sport, it makes it so much more exciting.
Yeah, Frankie, just your take on the Irish Gold Cup?
I think I agree that Factfile will probably stay in the Ryanair. I haven't seen the Willie Mullins interviews, but potentially could he be slightly frustrated if JP is making the call, knowing that he's got I Know the Way You're Thinking, and he thinks that he can go and win another Gold Cup, so he wants Factfile to stay in the Ryanair. Potentially, there's that sort of thought process behind it. My immediate reaction was, one, wowed by Factfile, but two, that maybe we've got the Gold Cup winner in England for once.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm over Django Bay for a start, but if you're looking at 25 grand, if it was, let's go around the room here, Matt and Dave and Frankie, it's your horse. We're not rich JP men. Would you supplement the 25 grand? Is it 7th of March? Something like that. You've got to stick your dough down. Matt, yes or no? Frankie, Dave?
For me, no. He wins the Ryanair.
Frankie?
Did you say I've got the same money as JP or I don't?
No. You are Frankie. You're selling ties.
Then that's quite a large investment. I'd rather leave him in the Ryanair and have the 25 grand on him to win that.
Okay, Dave.
Yeah, I think he'll go for the Ryanair. He's going to win that again. It was one of the performances last year's festival, wasn't it? And does that bring Spillans Tower in potentially? That's his one horse that is left in there, of course. All of a sudden, the Grey Dawning form is absolutely sizzling.
Oh, jeez. And it's a grey.
They always jump better.
I know the way you're thinking, come down at the last up, okay. Does he go to try and retain his crown? He's shown nothing, has he? Is that Gold Cup ruined him?
No,
completely gone. He'd run to marks in the mid-20s, and honestly, like Houdini couldn't do this. This would be something that's beyond even Gavin Cromwell, I think. Unfortunately, it does look like the Gold Cup left its mark. We now know why they didn't go, not just for the Grand National, where he had about 2 stone in hand and probably would have gone odds on there. We now know why he didn't go to Punchestown as well. Unfortunately, that monster effort looks like that might have been him. Sad to see it, really.
Yeah, and I'll put my hands up as well, because I wondered what they were doing with it, messing about or whatever. And you've got the old chin stroke. And looking today, knackered, tired fall, got up perfectly fine. But that goal, they do say, and it's a cliche, the Gold Cup takes it out of them. And I think that really has taken it out of that. It's sad to see, but as you know, that horse will be looked after for the rest of its life.
Could Galloping Deschamps win a Gold Cup? It's possible, isn't it?
No.
He looked more like a national horse, didn't he? And I hate to say that about a Gold Cup winner, eggs at the telly, but he's the engine that had served him so well going up that Leopardstown home straight just hasn't been there the last twice.
Yeah,
I did think though, was it 2 or 3 out? Townend was looking, and I thought he's got that covered. You know, when jockeys, there's 2 ways of looking at it. When they look behind, it's either I've got nothing left, I'm sitting on fresh air here, or I've got you covered, and I've got you covered. And I thought he had them covered, but he didn't. It was
5 Fox for the Nationals.
Yeah, National.
Final thought.
Right, at this rate, it'll be about a 3-hour show the way we're going on, so we'll try and keep it a little bit brief. Irish Arkle reaction. We have to start with you, Frankie. Romeo Kulio, one of your favourite horses. Has he got the pace to win an Arkle?
What a bizarre race that was. I don't know. Obviously on track. The benefit is it's really exciting, but you do miss the post-race immediate reaction interview. I'd love to know what Paul Townend thought about what was going on with Kajisi. Did she run out of steam? Did she idle in front? What the hell happened there? Because she started making a comeback, or was she simply outstayed by Romeo Kulio, who we all probably think might be better going up to 3 miles, and nobody knows where he's going to go. I don't think. Yeah, good performance, and I know you weren't with us, Matt, but I actually half fancied Kajisi to maybe beat him, because she's got red hot form if you go back through the years behind some proper top class horses. So it was an interesting race. I'd love to see Romeo Kulio over 3. Again, I didn't watch that race and think there's an Arkle winner in regards to Cheltenham, to be honest. Again, we could be winning that one in England.
Yeah, he's not an Arkle horse, guys, this one. I mean, some good scribes have been putting up for the Ryanair, which is a bit bonkers. But I remember thinking for a couple of years now, I don't know why a good novice doesn't have a go at the Ryanair. It's always the one where you, until Factfile, came around the last 2 years, it's a horse race where you can have a go. He also, I don't think he jumps quick enough for it. Lovely animal. His attitude is brilliant, isn't it? I can see why you love him, Frankie. But I would be going Brown Advisory, especially after Final Demand did it. It just makes you think how good is Kopek to board as well. We got Lulamba coming up, of course, this week in the game spirit, all being well. He'll probably shorten again on the back of that, I reckon, Matt. Kajisi definitely idle, 100%. Weird that, isn't it? She can be too keen. She's just a freak mare, but I think they'll have be fancying her chances with that. It's all about Kopek for me at the moment, the Arkle.
Okay, and Joel?
Yeah, Kopek for me as well. I mean, I watched that race today, and I backed Romeo Kulio before the second favourite was out. So like 6-4 or whatever it was, and when I thought 4-9, 4-11, and I watched that. It was beaten, wasn't beaten, was beaten, wasn't beaten. It was beaten, and Kajes just. I think a lot of these horses who have really tried this weekend may struggle at Cheltenham.
It was a hard race, wasn't it, as well? Good point, Joel.
Yeah,
that was a slog.
Yeah, it was a slog. And as Frankie said, a lot of them were pulling up, and normally they just keep going and going and going. And they stop like as if shot. Well, you've been kicked out, Frankie. Okay.
No, I'm just checking who's won the last.
Oh, are we on the book? I thought we were going to watch the
It's a Gigginstown blue hat or a horse. I couldn't tell you what it was.
It's Gordon Elliott. It's either Broadway Ted or With No Limit. One of the champion hurdle market. Bright days ahead. Obviously, Gordon Elliott did say straight after champion hurdle is where she's going. But she's disappointed at Cheltenham on a couple of occasions, hasn't she? Is the champion hurdle now just even murkier?
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? And do you know what? I think she can win it. And I think Lossiemouth probably certain to go to the mares. And the fact that Lossiemouth is more sure to go to the mares means that it makes her chances even better. It's a funny situation that we've got 2 mares that could go in either race at probably the most fancied horses for the champion hurdle, and be a case of who goes where. I think she can win it. Like I know she's been disappointing at Cheltenham, but it's just got to click for her, hasn't it? And the third time lucky this will be. I don't know what they will have tried differently with her, but off the back of that performance, I think they can just be aggressive with her. And I'm not sure, Lossiemouth, let's say mares, Golden Ace. I know she's beaten Bright Days Ahead before, but I just really can't see that happening again. Constitution Hill is yet to race at Southall. He could potentially still win it. It's Amsterdam.
I'm sorry. literally the fact that you've just mentioned the words that Constitution Hill could win the Champion Hill just goes to
Here
show.
we go again.
What a mad.
I know.
Cheers for coming, Dave. The fact is you're mentioning Constitution Hill could be a Champion Hurdle win. It should just show, and it's not just a Champion Hurdle. I think there's lots of the Gold Cup as well. I think it's going to be a very strange festival.
Well, if we look back at when Dave was first in the studio, and we did this on week 1 or week 2 or whatever it was, when Frankie was away, and we were having a laugh between Madgeborough and Constitution Hill. If we just backed Madgeborough on Dave's say-so and Constitution Hill on my say-so, about 20-1 at this point, and and you look at it and go, Constitution Hill wins this. Now, look, we don't want that horse to win because of Sergino and what's gone and what's out of it and everything, but actually, if we put the clips together, we look like we know what we're talking about, Dave.
Well, I mean, where are we at now? Are we championing? Because people are actually talking about...
We're the Champion Hurdle 1997.
I think
Right, okay.
the Champion Hurdle.
Well, like you say, it was more fun back then, Joel. But this, I mean, all right, here's the headline for me. Well, this anything can win this. I mean, more questions than answers again. I'll tell you one thing I am hearing. I am hearing that Constitution, before Sergino unfortunately met that pelvic injury and he please God, he's back. This is going to turn you wild. The guy that rides them both at home was saying that Sergino would not lace Constitution's boots, right? I mean that up the gallops. So whatever we're expecting on February the 20th, it will be something pretty special, I think, even if it's going to be bizarrely weird to watch. But yeah, honestly, I think they are fancying him again now. And yet the solid one, when you're looking at the market, continues to be Golden Ace, doesn't it?
Golden Ace, right? Golden Ace wins again. And she's still there with lucky horse. What's it be? But at the end of the day, if I am Golden Ace and I've won all this prize money, I'm like, it's that other cliche as well. You've got to jump the hurdles. And that horse jumps hurdles. And
I couldn't have her at all. I could not back her at all.
And do you know what? A race fit Golden Ace got nowhere near a year absent Sergino.
Yeah, for that reason, I just could not have her at all.
But Sergino's not in the race. At this point, I'll be having 50 quid each way in the Me and Lion.
She's bomb-proof on the big day, isn't she?
Yeah.
Kerry Lee mentioned again. There's loads of bells ringing out at the moment. Bingo for everyone out there. But if you're talking that the new line is now going to... And the one thing I would say, if you're on the new line, don't be giving that up, by the way. I think he will.
Oh, no.
I think
he will. Woof.
I think he will love a fast run race. I think there's been plans there in the Fighting Fifth where he led and it was just all... now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't look great, the Turners, all of a sudden, does it?
Yeah.
Where's the yellow clay?
It's, yeah. One of my favourites. Another overhyped one. And we've got a lot of these. So the anti-post market, the slip's going like this everywhere.
Where's our money going?
You're right. It is good fun.
Where's everyone's money going today for the Champion Hurdle?
Go on then, Dave, Champion Hurdle.
If I had to, if it's tomorrow, I've got an anti-post slip that I've not ripped up on the new line. If Constitution Hill turns up, I'm not kidding, I'm having a fiver on him. And I think Golden Ace, they'll be the three, aren't they? They've got to be the three. It's staying in Britain.
Joel?
I just go Golden Ace just because she'll turn up, she's great, and everything else will fall behind.
Frankie?
I think brighter days ahead.
Ooh. Well, I'm still sticking my neck out and going for.
Does she just not loathe Cheltenham brighter days ahead? Isn't there something about her that just...
Don't always buy that. She might prefer it at Leopardstown, that's for sure. But
she got first run on Lossy Mouth this weekend, didn't she? Which she didn't do, of course, over Christmas. Great to see her back, by the way. I just think that she might be a bit of a red herring coming to Cheltenham.
Well, she did, but it was only one bad race in the Champion. She did beat by Golden Ace in the Mares Novice. So
she's clear second favourite now, isn't she? 11 to 4 best.
Yep.
Yeah, 9-4 favourite. Those again in a race that I think is just so many questions. The fact you've got Amsterdam and Poneros at 16s with us.
Right, can I just say Poneros? That that excited me a little bit. Staying in.
Oh, come on! I wondered who made him blue all over the shop. I see the nibbles.
Yeah. I'll tell you, that Great Wall performance still lives in the memory from Alexei. I know he's got a lot to find, but 33s in a race with so many questions about the others. I'll be quite happy to stick me out in and play him each way at a decent price.
What world am I living in, Matt? What world am I living in? Anything can win. I'm not going to throw it out of bed. I made a face, but you know what? You might be right.
Well, whilst you were playing with your technicals and having a great time yourself with the Bermuda Triangle, we were just mentioning that even like the Gold Cup, we're in that. We're 5 weeks out, and apart from the Ryanair, really, which looks pretty nailed on, we're none the wiser with anything.
No. Come on. Madge is back. Madge is back.
Then. So this is where we're off to. Madge.
What a bizarre champion chase anti-post market we have had. Marine Nationale up until the weekend, solid pretty much throughout. The rest of them just absolutely balmy. You have to remember, let's start right at the beginning. Sogino was going, right? Madge Brewer was going. He was 8-1 at the start of the season. No one really knew what to do with him. He polarised opinion. Before the Hilly Way with Sogino now reverting to hurdles, as Henderson said, he basically went into I think it was nearly 6-4. The Hilly Way was disgraceful. He went back out to 9-2. At Christmas, he was even worse. He went back out to 8-1. Then he was back into 4-1 before this weekend. Now he's into around about 11-8.
Yeah, Frankie put him up as a best bet at the weekend on Friday, and I agreed. And every interview was, we've worked on the jumping. We did the cheap pieces as well. Cheap pieces this time. Just looked a different horse. We've ripped it out of Madgeborough because, there's an engine there but can't jump. And we've seen that so many times throughout the years and years and years. Absolutely foot perfect. And I think if we come on here, miss the 8-1, miss the 4-1, 9-2, if I was going straight now, I think this looks like a certainty to me.
He's a complete monster.
Yeah, I think you let him roll out in front. You don't make him think more than he needs to. You don't try and slow him down. He's that good. Let him crack on. If he builds up a bit of a lead like he did at Cheltenham and he's turning in and the rest of the field's got lengths, I think they'll be off the bridle turning for home behind him.
Matt, your face was an absolute picture there. You're representing the society that are basically going, again, what world am I living in?
No, well, yeah, I've always been a massive fan of Madgeborough, and I think I've said that throughout. But why would you, if you're not on the 8-1, why would you be smashing the 6-4? At the end of the day, at the weekend, mightily impressive on desperate ground where he was allowed his own way in front. No idea where Solness was and where he wasn't allowed to bowl out.
If he doesn't lead, Matt, he's a sulker.
Exactly. Less pressure on his jumping when he was foot perfect. I think with the quicker ground at Cheltenham, they're going to go a yard quicker. He is liable for a mistake. I would not be touching the 6-4. I'd love to be on at 8-1, granted. I would not be touching him at the 6-4 when what is going to be a completely different race. And you will see a very different Marine Nationale as well.
Back in for the Gold Cup next year, Madgeborough.
Oh, wow, what a shout. I mean, that is proper madness, isn't it? Should we have a quick word here for Mark Walsh?
Yeah, I know.
Horrendous. Can I just say, horrendous jockey needs to be sacked. Watching racing on the Monday, what a horrendous jockey that lad is. He was horrendous every single ride. I tell you what, though, it must feel good inside if he goes home to his missus or wherever he's got at home today and just goes, see, I've still got it.
I wonder where on earth you were going with that one. And I mean, Harry Cobden's gone over. Of course, he's now unseated twice on the level. His 2 rides at Leopardstown. The Reverend, of course, as is all right. But he's probably thinking to himself, "Whoa, the pressure's mounting a little bit." But I guess, look, just with Mark Walsh and going back to Leopardstown at Christmas, I must admit, I think on the last show I did with you guys, I was like, the Walsh cap would have been getting kicked over Christmas, but it was 0 from 11 or whatever it was. There was some questionable tactics, but. Was it Willie? Was it JP? Or was it Mark? They credited Mark for saying, this is what I want to do. And it was the cheap pieces that made him jump. Look, and again, polarising opinion, apart from the odd howler that he's made, and you're probably counting up going, yeah, there's pages of them, Dave. And of course, he can't go right-handed. We just know what he is now. Get him out. He's a tank.
I think people can be very short-term minded when it comes to opinions of jockeys or even horses, but Mark Walsh has ridden the most winners, I think, from any jockey for JP. I think the Irish Gold Cup took him to 41 Grade 1s for JP. And
That's
yes,
insane.
he had a bad Christmas, but if you judge him and that partnership on its entirety, then the stats speak for themselves, don't they? And he's got to be buzzing with the weekend, 4 Grade 1s, and what a time to get them.
Could you imagine all of our reactions if they just shoved a microphone in your face and asked him? Because I think it was Katie Walsh that was on track, wasn't she, for RTE? You could occasionally hear a sort of thing, in the background. And I think she said about the Harry Cobden job to him, and he was just very, very chilled about it. I mean, what would Joel do? What would Frankie do? I'd probably throw a few expletives. You know what I mean? What a calm character. Fair play to him.
Yeah, maybe that's due to the longevity of it. He's had such a good run for such a long time, and it's for all that he's been brilliant and got the job done, he's probably also appreciative of having the job. So everything has its day, I guess.
And I'm sure he's the type of character that JP will keep around. AP McCoy, obviously, Barry Geraghty's still involved a little bit. So
and the Bulger.
Can I have a rough tenor here with you? Next stable jockey to Paul Nicholls.
No chance. Not a
myriad.
Move on.
Not a chance. But you could have a tenor on him to be top jock at Cheltenham.
Really rub it in.
Yeah. Well, jockey merry-go-round is going to be interesting. Right. We are quite deep in, so let's just rattle through the novices. We've talked about the Arkle. What about Final Demand? Where'd you go with him, Frankie?
Yeah, bizarre race. Well, you know what? Bizarre race, but I wasn't his biggest fan, and that's easy to say in hindsight. But whenever we've spoken about Final Demand, I thought I didn't want to take him on, but I certainly wasn't backing him as short as he was. And in regards to Cheltenham, even before this weekend, I was trying to take him on for the Brown Advisory. So a bubble burst, but in my opinion, the bubble was inflated to start with. I don't think he ever should have been a 1-3 shot, and I don't think he should have been a 6-4 shot or whatever he was for the Brown Advisory. My old mate Wendigo's chances are starting to look a little bit better. I think.
Yes.
Race looks like it could be perfect for him. So, yes, a bubble burst. And again, it was certainly one on the Saturday that probably added to a few punters' sore heads because it was quiet when he was beaten. But he wasn't a horse I was a huge fan of anyway. And I've been trying to find an each-way angle in. And Wendigo looks the most obvious answer for me at this stage for the Brown Advisory.
100%.
Yeah. Dave, tell me about Final Demand.
Yeah, look, all you're hearing all year it is with him. He's not been right. What they were saying at Limerick at Christmas, bad scope. He not been totally fit. For everyone that's been saying, he's been winning despite the fact he's not quite right at home. Needed that first run. Limerick, he looked, he's a bit lower there. That wasn't him. There was something wrong with him. This is what it is. That's not his form. Put a line through it. I'm still a bit of a believer in him, actually. I think he just, if you go back to Willie's comments there, this is the one he got sparky about, by the way, guys, wasn't it? He really was not happy with having to give a debrief on this. They were absolutely on the floor. I think they thought this was their Cheltenham banker going in. I think he just had it all ahead of him. But something is not right with Final Demand.
Maybe with Mullins full stop there. Quite a few of them. I think the word you'd use would be flat, wouldn't it?
Frankie, happy to not get any interviews at the Cheltenham Festival with Willie Mullins.
I'm sure he's not an avid watcher, thankfully. But no, I do. I think, there's been horses, and whether it's the ground, whether it's just other horses from other yards performing better. And we obviously judge Willie by such high standards that we expect him to go and win. It was only a couple of years he won all 8 Grade 1s. So you go into the festival seeing the Willie Mullins favourites and you judge them harshly because you think they'll win. But just as they've just climbed that hill and turned for home, it's happened to a couple of his, and they just haven't quite picked up. They've finished their race, but not with any sort of zest. So yeah, it's been a funny weekend for him. I suppose his spikiness or disappointment is warranted in a couple.
Would you give up on him? Would you give up on him, Matt and Joel? I'm sort of looking at you guys because you haven't given us your opinion on him. Would you give up on him? Because don't forget, Gaelic Warrior was trounced at this meeting and did bounce back.
Yeah, but that was in the Arkle.
But still, it means you can turn up if you're.
does he stay a true 3 mile? Does he? I know he's won a point to point, but soft ground. He didn't. Did he get home? Was it just not his running? He skewed in the air a little bit. He got in tight to a couple. He was fiddly. That Turner's race from last year, all of a sudden, isn't looking as strong as we thought it was going to be. As you mentioned earlier, Dave. Did he ever warrant like Frankie to be a 5-4 shot? I don't. I think there's some absolute quality in behind him. Again, I think it's just one of those. It's all about the chat, isn't it? It's sexy. It's Willie Mullins. It's Paul Townend. It's the Broadway. Everyone piles in because he's run well there before, and he won a pretty much a penalty kick at Limerick as well. So he was always far too short. And I think there's some real quality in there. I'm not sure what you do with him. Would he stay the 3 miles? Did he go back to the Arkle? He's jumping. The way he's jumping just fell apart a little bit. It has to be a concern. And you're right about Willie Mullins. Well, Paul Townend's reaction afterwards as well. He was mighty disappointed, and he said there's no explanation for it.
Yeah, it's normally jocks have got, you've seen them before. They've got that after the winning line, maybe 4 or 5 minutes or whatever it is, to have that slow walk back to think of excuses for people and owners and whatever. And he was like, no excuses, no nothing. I think after 2, you knew you were beat. I'd back the horse at the weekend, as Dave says, put a line through it. I don't know. It was a head scrambler at the weekend because it just looked like Frankie would say. I would say a little bit more vigorous.
I'm just gonna go back to my comment about. I'm not trying to salvage an interview here, Dave. Go back to my comment.
He's walking past. He's the best trainer. That Gordon Elliott's awful. Come on, Willie.
But what I said
There's
about
the Ofcom klaxon again.
Judging him about extremely high standards. Dr. Steinberg, Grade 1 winner. Narcisco Hans, Grade 1 winner. Factfile, Irish Gold Cup winner. So it hasn't been a bad weekend, but there have just been a few horses where everyone was expecting them to win, and they didn't put in the performance that we thought, did they?
I know Matt will be going mental because he's got a running order, and it'll be the Cheltenham Festival. It'll be the Martin Pipe by the time we finish this. But let's be honest, Dr. Steinberg, my performance of the weekend, loved it.
Really?
I want to go on to the novice hurdlers. So, and again, that's a race that, looking back at the history of it, the race, the opener today, usually
won it, didn't he?
Brings out a Turner's horse, but that was in that ground, the really strong state performance. He must be Albert Bartlett bound.
Ooh, not so sure myself. Not so sure. I think he's quite an exuberant
He's got
sort.
a pace for 2.5.
Well, don't forget, Final Demand won this race last year before going to the Turners.
That's what I'm saying. Usually a Turners, but for me,
I think there'll be I think this is another send him horse. And I think depending on what the weather does, if you've got a short price for the Albert Bartlett, I hope it's non-run and no bet.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Ooh, I thought this ended up far too much pace.
Narcisco Has was the performance for me.
Off the front.
Youngsters.
Yeah, good shout, Frankie.
You know what's interesting, isn't it? You could look at that and you take two opinions, and you either had the bare form of Monge Toot beating Narcisco Has and then beating Adrian by the same amount of lengths next time out. And if you read it in literal terms, in numbers, you'd say, well, Monge Toot should be winning this. But if you listened to all of the comments on the run-up to the weekend, then you would have to have believed that Narcisco Has was going to win. I've never heard, I'm sure I have, but I think Ruby Walsh was strongest on Narcisco Had coming into the weekend as any other horse, and he put in a huge performance. I know that the Richie horse in second was coming and will probably improve, but I think he was the one I was most impressed with. I reckon he is top class.
But how are they both ridden? Both of those winners. Send it from the front. That was, that was.
I can't never argue with an aggressive ride.
I love the aggressive ride, but I don't know if it's just me being 48 now, but I used to see so many. I know you can't tell, can you? There were so many closers back in the day, and now I watch all the racing, every single race today again, and so many are nicking it from the front. And is it the ground or is it the whip? Is it the? I don't know what it is, because if you're sitting 10 lengths out the back and you've got one that you can't give one to anymore, is it just?
It's so competitive here. I think I was having this conversation after the Irish Gold. You don't see as many races in Ireland as you'd get a race in England where Cobden and Scouten, they're just sitting pretty, lobbing along. You don't get that as much here. Like you don't get an inch from anyone, and you have to be at the front of the van, and you have to be in the mixer more times than not. And I think it's just a level of competitiveness.
Just going back to Narciso has the second, Selma Davari was nibbled out in the market. Was that a good Fred Winter trial?
Yeah, no, it really was.
Rich special as well. He loves that. Get some revenge for Gaelic Warrior getting beaten it off 123 or whatever.
Yeah.
Was it a bit too good though? Was it a bit too good? I don't know. She looked. I mean, she looked like a mare's race to me. I mean, could she be the next Lossiemouth? I mean, she didn't half come into it nicely, didn't she? But the hood, I wasn't sure about it. On some better ground, it was evident that the runner-up, Selma Davari, Cheltenham went notably wide, looking for that patch that no one had gone on. I think she'll be a very good mare in the spring. Narciso House, though, 7-4 best now out there. It's hard to argue with it. I mean, there's nothing been really rocketing up, has it, in the juvenile division?
No, Proactive's an interesting one. Is he going straight there? Again, Jake.
Manella Study still could be I mean, you couldn't imagine it, could you, with the stable? But he's really impressed me, Manella Study. I think he probably needs a bit more respect on his name, about 14-1. But can he beat Willie?
1000%. If it wasn't Adam Nichols, he'd be probably 4-1, wouldn't he? You're right. Interesting. Just one more. Talk the Talk and Ballyfad. What a race that was. Supreme contenders. John.
Yes.
I'll take this. I back Talk the Talk, and genuinely, I watched it in the pub in Warrington, and I thought the horse was beat. Watched the race. It's a tight photo. There we are. Bang. I'm beat all ends. Throw it down. Not in an aggressive way. Just I place it down and get on my lunch. And I checked my account later, and I watched it back, and it was the winner. I didn't think that I'd won, but you give that a bit of good ground in March. I think this is an absolute steal.
Let's have a look at the horses that have won that race. I'll go down them. Kopek de Board, 2025. Ballyburn, the year before that. Il Est Tom, Sir Gerhard, Appreciate It, Asterion Falange, Classical Dream, Sam Crow, and Bacardi's. And, apart from the last one, all near championship winners, aren't they? However, a blanket finish. I love the way he was ridden, actually, Joel, considering that fall that they had. And Joseph O'Brien afterwards was talking about 2 years' time. But for me, guys, it just meant that really, if you're on Old Park Star, which Joel has obviously put up in his portfolio already, you are sitting very pretty.
I think I'd take the insurance. So I've got
There was a lot of chat about the race here, and yeah, I suppose look at it two ways, can't you, Dave? You can say a blanket finish means that none of them are superstars, or there is a chance that all of them are very, very good horses, because it was the top three in the market.
Yeah, they said the right three were at the top.
The right horses were there. And
Frankie, you are playing a brilliant political game. You threw William Mullins under the bus. I told you might never get an interview again, and now you're just telling me every connection that their horse is amazing.
And better ground could be the key.
Yeah, he's a very good horse. I think we could say that. He probably could have won by a bit further. I think it had the ground and the tactics of the race gone his way. But I don't think this is beating Endo's.
Right, we need to rattle through these just very, very quickly. Alkairos, obviously on Thursday, jumping issues to a Supreme winner.
Well, exactly. So why are we calling it Alkairos anyway? It's Alkairo. Right. Again, I put it in a treble. The first two won, and I was just being greedy. 1 to 5, 1 to 4, sticking it in there. Again, heart in the mouth situation at the last. I'm not trusting that horse anymore at that short price. You know, absolute so much ability, and the fact that people have kicked off about David Maxwell and what have you. This horse doesn't like a final obstacle, and it can take my money all day long.
Do you remember in the bumper he veered off as well? He's definitely got a quirk, hasn't he? But he is rapid, this horse. He's absolutely rapid. And you know what? I'm so glad that he has put himself with a 1 next to his name, because it means he'll get to the Supreme. How exciting is it going to be, that first race? You're going to have horses that are going to try and draw the sting out of him. And Kennedy, who surely, although Ballyfad is good, surely it's going to be the pick. He will be sitting. And this is a classic Supreme, one of the races at the festival.
Word on Jack Kennedy as well. He's had a proper weekend, hasn't he?
Mm.
Oh, well, I say all the time, he's my favourite jock in Ireland. You know, people rave about Townend. He's, you know, top class and Mark Walsh.
He's great to watch, Jack Kennedy, isn't he? Because of the way that he rides a finish.
I love everything he does. He's got a clock in his head, you know, and the guy's had so much broken legs. Sorry, Matt's wind us up. Sorry.
No, I just got my elocution lessons off you as well. That's really well.
No,
right.
El Cairo.
Right, in 1
El
minute.
Kairos.
In 1 minute, any handicappers to follow for the DRF?
Do you know what?
Go on.
Did you have any handicappers to follow?
Mercia.
Yeah, mine
Fourth,
too.
and finished nice enough for
Looks
me.
like we all spotted that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Timmy DeMai in the same race as well. But don't rule out Bowen's on Fire going and following up at one of the festivals. I love this horse. Second. They're all calling him all sorts of names. He went to Leopardstown at a slightly quieter meeting, didn't he? How the hell he won that day, coming from out the back. This time, he really looked the real deal. And I think we're just still scratching the surface with him. And a fast run race. But I agree, guys. That is the race to look for your eye catchers in.
Yeah.
Joe?
Mercia, and I think obviously we all know now, Waterford Whispers, money was down. I think it's third or second or whatever. But Mercia again, I think we put up that last year as well. So
okay, Sandown and Musselburgh very quickly. Obviously, my Mossy Fen Road Dream's dead in the water. 6 Mile Bridge, the City Owls winner. Chance in the Broadway.
We'll lead them to 2 out. Really good jumper. Like the horse. Fergal O'Brien done a brilliant job. Can't see him beating some of the other graded winners. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
Fergal O'Brien, the only British trainer to have a runner over there this week, Frankie.
Ran all right, I think fourth.
Yeah.
Fourth. Ran all right. I know it is surprising, and it's obviously ultra competitive. It surprises me, and it comes down to a trainer-owner conversation. It surprises me that more owners don't push to have a crack. I can understand why trainers don't want to, because they like to try and find a winnable race in England. And that makes more sense. But as an owner, you'd love to come over here and have a go. And if you can get, a run for your money, finish in the frame like Fergal's did, I think that's a great weekend.
The uncomfortable truth about that, guys, is, and we probably don't have time to do this, but how many British owners have already got horses in Ireland? They all went over there for the prize money about 5 years ago. It's like Brian drew a great comparison. But yeah, it was a bit of a disgrace, wasn't it?
And if I could sing the praises of the track, they obviously want more British runners. So they work so hard for they had one set of owners to look after this weekend, but I interviewed them and they said they could not have had more done for them in terms of their, whether they sorted it out or helped with arrangements of flights, accommodation, made sure they were looked after. So the track puts on a big effort. And yeah, if I owned one good enough, I'd come and have a crack. But
I've heard that so many times, a bit like Breeders' Cup and in the States. When you're going over there, they want you to come over. So us lads, we've got one. We put 10 grand each. We got a nice one out there. Let's have a pop and be looked after. Free bar.
Don't know if you.
I have seen the state of your hotel room. You've got a bit to go before you can put 10k on an egg.
I'd like to see Kim Rock have a go for Joseph at the festival. Maybe stepped up in trip for the Ultima.
He was interesting, Frankie. Look. Kim Rock, interesting, Frankie. Interesting. I'm going to give you that one because he was. I was nearly going to shout in, and because I know Matt is desperate for us to end this, because otherwise, we're going to be here for another week. He made his move a bit too soon, didn't he, on the ground that wouldn't have suited. And if it's not taking too much out of him, do not discount him. They still think there's a big one in him.
It is interesting they brought him over for a sight earlier on in the season as well, isn't it? So
sure.
Ronnie Bollock will like winners, like runners there. Right, no time for training focus, but don't worry, we'll pick that up next week. There's 4 big trains we need to speak about. We've got 4 weeks left of this, so do not worry. We'll talk about that next week. Right, anti-post portfolio, boys. What are we on? What is going in the anti-post portfolio? Dave, you were your Idaho Sun in the Supreme. He looks good now, just by standing still in his stable. It's not been a great. It's not a great look to it. Frankie's got Regent Stroll. Is still a nice play. Old Park Star 8-1, obviously for Joel. Mine is horrific.
I'm going to suggest pressing up a bit on Grey Dawning. He is, I know the way you're thinking, Mark II, and he will be coming in. Don't forget, the Turners, when he won it, he'd also walked through that second last in his prep. The stars are aligning. Get on the grey.
And to be fair, he did run the whole race with a horseshoe mark right round his backside as well. After that whack off Spillane's Tower. So yeah, you've already marled up a little bit. Okay. 16-1 gold grade order for the Gold Cup. Joel.
I think I'm going Skeletons again. And I'm going to go Panic Attack. Now, I was thinking today, look, if Factfile's going to the Gold Cup, then I'd put it in the Ryanair. No. Plan is made. Mayor's Chase. And that's what I'm going for this week. It's about 8 to 10 to 1 or something like that.
7-1, yeah.
But if I can change that, if Factfile goes to the Gold Cup, then I'll move to the Ryanair. I was flicking before and after. What's your face for, Dave?
I think you've got it all wrong.
Okay, well that's fine. It's all about opinions, and I might be wrong.
You'll be punting out Bob Ollinger for the stayers next, and
yeah. Well, we wait for that.
So just Dave, you're thinking Factfile goes Gold Cup.
I think he's going to go Ryanair. I'm almost certain he's going to go Ryanair, but he won't get beaten in that if he goes. So that's why he'll go there. I think if he turns up the same horse, anything like he did at the DRF, or even better, like last year was, you could argue that the performance of the last 10 years in the Ryanair, couldn't he? It was unbelievable. But
it was, yeah, to challenge him. So yeah.
Just to go back quickly. On Frankie's Wendigo point, I didn't know whether Frankie had already put him in his portfolio. I think if you've got a milk bottle horse, bear with me here. If you've got a milk bottle horse for Cheltenham, so each week you're putting a £5 in a milk bottle, right? And you just want to back one horse at the festival at a price now. I'm almost certain that Brown Advisory is just like for the taking for Wendigo now. I absolutely loved him at Ayr. I loved him even more after the Corto Star when he just did brilliantly to run on for third with everything against him. And you can pick holes in pretty much everything. The Big Westerner might be the danger, but that needs an absolute slop.
Yeah, I think I like the Big Westerner. She ran well in the Albert Bartlett, didn't she? From Cheltenham's no issue. So yeah, she's an interesting one. Is that definitely a target for Wendigo, not the National Lunch Chase?
Yeah, Brown Advisory.
Wash your mouth out, Humesy.
You stole my thunder anyway. He's my pick. Just as you said, it's an open race. He's a nice price. He actually ran really well at Cheltenham when he got bumped around a bit, and as I think, it's there for the taking.
You can see why Frankie is in this game, lads. It's the racing club. It's 2 thumbs up, 3, 5, 7 thumbs up.
Basher Foster.
Right, you're going Wendigo then. Just want to check in his price.
What price are we looking at now? He's obviously probably wants to shorten the touch.
Yeah. 7-1 with final demand, obviously, blotting his card. I was between again, I can't put him up. We spoke about, we said he was 66-1 after Haydock. We said Haiti Calor was worth a small little each way, didn't we? And now look at him into 11-1 and didn't go to Ireland. Hasn't had that slog. Going to go to Newbury and the Denman Chase. I should theoretically put him up, expecting him to win at Newbury and then short a little bit, but I'm not. I'm going to go in the mares as well, Joel. I'm going opposite you, though. And Ben Jones having such a good time and stuff. I think Diva Luna is a star in the making over the larger obstacles. So I do like Diva Luna. Impressive at Bangor, Slam Joyeuse. Queen's Gamble disappointing again at the weekend, having travelled well. Beat Blue Lass at Donny on a small field. That one's come out and won a match since beating Maximum. So the form's there, stacker. She's still a novice. I think she's got loads of upside. We know what to get from Dino Blue. Spindleberry's just been pulled up in a slot. Panic Attack, I respect, but she is a very quickly improving handicapper. I think Diva Luna, only a third chase start, I think 12-1. I think she could be the one for me in the mares. So there we go. There's another 4 added to the list at decent prices for you. Boys, before we wrap up, anything else from what has been an action-packed weekend that you just thought, mention that one? Anything else? Starting with you, Dave.
We're filming on the Monday. It seems a bit random to talk about Southwell at this point. I'm not going to go Anne Stokell. Don't worry, I'm not going there. But Ollie Murphy unleashed a horse finally called Will Star, I think it's called, isn't it? The half brother to John Bond. It probably won't be turning up at Cheltenham, but I know what they think about that guy. He's had terrible wind issues. He got him back. Have a look at it. He won like an absolute arrow. There's a really big prize in this guy. Something completely left field for you. Remember that name, put it in your tracker. I think he's back.
Joel?
Yeah, I'm not talking Southwell and Natalia Gemalova or whatever. I'll go for that Bolin Thow at the weekend again. The Nick Skelton horse at not Nick Skelton, Nick Schofield horse that keeps running every week and keeps going up the weights. Keep backing that horse until no more. Might be the next Hunt Ball. You never know.
Frankie?
A proper rogue shout, and I've already had a bet in the cross country, but my old mate Bustleton, I think, has made his way over to the Banks King Ender Bolger. He'll have another tilt at the cross country.
Interesting.
DRF Intel.
So I hear.
Well, that was one monster.
Hang on, give me a second.
Yeah. So yeah, probably work. I mean, yeah, you'd imagine he'll be going back there, and he's a big price. I have already had
Brilliant stuff. Cool. Right. It was a long show, but it was worthy of it because we've had an incredible weekend, as I say, over the Dublin Racing Festival. How many horses have left their Cheltenham Festival chances behind in Foxrock this weekend? We'll find out in 5 weeks' time. The mud is probably murkier in some of the championship races. Still, plenty of water to go under the bridge. Right, join us this week.
Hang on, background.
It's a ghost. It's a ghost. He wasn't there.
I think it's Paul Hannigan.
Right. Another busy weekend of action to look forward to this weekend. Still lots to talk about. 5 more weeks to go before we get to the greatest show on turf. Thanks to the boys. What a weekend it was. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and comment with what you made of the DRF. Your picks. Do you think the horses left their chances behind, or do you think they are now sharper for their runs at Leopardstown going into Cheltenham? Like, subscribe, and please comment, and we'll get back to your reply. And also, what are your best bets right now ahead of the Cheltenham Festival? It's getting ever closer.